In the hustle and bustle of Redwood International Airport, everything seemed to be going smoothly and orderly. The loudspeakers blared steadily, passengers filed through check-in, and the white lights that filled the hallways created a seemingly safe environment. However, in the midst of this normal scene, Shadow, a trained German shepherd, suddenly changed his behavior. Officer Ryan, who had trained and worked with Shadow for years, immediately sensed something was different. Shadow began to pull on his leash. His ears pricked up his nose, sniffing the air as if tracking something invisible. His usual calm demeanor was gone, replaced by a tense gait, like a bowstring pulled tight, ready to snap at any moment. Ryan tried to give a gentle, reassuring command, but Shadow didn't respond as he usually did. His eyes were fixed on a distant area, and then a low growl escaped his throat, low, clear, and warning. It wasn't a growl without reason. Ryan knew from experience that when Shadow behaved like this, it meant something serious was about to happen. Danger was somewhere nearby, even if no one else could sense it. Near Gate 14. Amid the constant throng of people, a boy named Oliver sat huddled on a cold plastic chair, clutching his worn-out backpack. Just 10 years old, Oliver was waiting alone for his mother, who had told him to stay near the gate while she went to take care of a matter at the security check. His eyes kept glancing at the wall clock and at every adult passing by, as if hoping for a familiar face to appear at any moment. Amidst the crowd, a well-dressed man in a light gray suit and a professional-looking leather briefcase approached. He leaned down, a friendly smile on his face, and spoke softly. "Are you Oliver? Your mother is stuck at the security check. She asked me to pick you up." The words came out so naturally, and the employee badge hanging on his coat made him look even more trustworthy. Oliver hesitated. Mom had told him not to go with strangers, but this man knew his name. He knew that his mother was at the security checkpoint. He seemed like he really was her friend, or at least an airport employee. Oliver asked softly, "When did she tell you?" Mr. Gregory smiled deftly, avoiding the question. "You don't want to keep your mother waiting, do you? Come with me, she's waiting nearby." The boy flinched, looking around. Uncertainty crept in, but Oliver wasn't sure enough to react. That's when Shadow, the police dog, appeared. The man in the gray suit, his name was Gregory, strutted his lips in a smile, but his confidence was starting to crack. "There's no problem here," he told the approaching security officer, his voice trying to sound calm. "I'm just helping this boy get to his mother." But Shadow was still growling, his eyes never leaving Gregory's. Officer Ryan, who had served with Shadow for more than 4 years, had never seen him react so strongly. Shadow was one of the best K9s, strictly trained, completely obedient. But now, he was defying orders. Ryan stood still, feeling something deep inside. Something very serious was going on. "Hey, stay away from the boy," Ryan said louder, stepping toward Nathan and Gregory. Gregory turned slightly as if to leave, but in that moment, he suddenly grabbed Nathan's arm. It was too fast, but Shadow was faster. With a thunderous roar, he tore off the leash, charging toward Gregory like a tornado. Before he could react, he was pushed to the floor, his briefcase falling from his hands, opening, revealing fake papers, a passport, and a small syringe wrapped in cloth. Screams rang out all around him. Passengers backed away some, calling for help. Shadow didn't bite, but he pinned Gregory down with his weight, and ferocity making it impossible for him to escape. Ryan rushed forward, restraining Gregory in handcuffs as other officers quickly surrounded him. Gregory struggled, but there was no way out. Shadow stood next to Nathan, his body still tense, protecting the boy like a territorial warrior. Soon the truth was revealed. Gregory was not an airport employee. He was a human smuggler trying to smuggle Nathan out of the airport under false pretenses. Without Shadow, no one knows what might have happened. Nathan stood beside Shadow, his eyes still dazed. Even though he had escaped the clutches of the bad guys, his heart was still pounding in his small chest. Officer Ryan placed a gentle hand on Nathan's shoulder, his eyes reassuring. "You're safe," he said softly. But Ryan's heart was not yet calm, for even a moment's delay could have had dire consequences. Just then, a shrill cry rang out from behind the security fence. A woman with disheveled hair and tearful eyes rushed through the crowd. "Nathan," she cried. Nathan turned around, and when he saw his mother, he burst into tears and threw himself into her arms. They hugged each other in a passionate embrace. His mother kept repeating, "I'm sorry. I just turned away for a minute." Ryan stood there silently watching. Beside him, Shadow sat silently, no longer growling, but looking relaxed after the tension. Nathan left his mother's arms and walked closer to Shadow. He gently stroked the dog's head, tears still streaming down his cheeks. "He didn't let him take me away." The words were as small as a breeze, but made everyone around him choke up. Immediately, the police investigated. They confirmed that Gregory was a wanted man who specialized in luring children in public places. The fake documents in his briefcase and the anesthesia equipment were undeniable evidence. No one could have guessed that in the middle of a crowded airport, such a terrifying plot would take place. Witnesses began to tell their stories, many of them filming videos sharing the story of Shadow the dog who defied orders to save a child. And for Ryan, he knew that today was more than just a mission accomplished. That was the big lesson. Shadow's instincts were more than just training, it was the heart of a hero. The airport buzzed in the hours following the incident. Local news reports quickly picked up on the story of the canine named Shadow, not because he followed orders, but because he bravely broke the rules to save a young boy. In the makeshift waiting room, Nathan sat huddled next to his mother, his hand still on the thick fur on Shadow's neck. The boy whispered something, and Shadow wagged his tail. No training needed, just the trust between a child and his four-legged friend. When the press began reporting, the new social medias exploded. Shadow's photo was widely shared, and the brave dog was now affectionately called Airport Hero, four-legged angel-loyal bodyguard. Many people were so moved that they wrote handwritten letters to the police station thanking Shadow for doing something no one expected. Ryan's fellow K9 officers were also amazed and proud. They knew Shadow was one of the best dogs around, but today he was more than just a professional K9 trainer. He was a model of courage and pure loyalty. The police department officially honored Shadow with the K9 Medal of Valor, a rare honor. And as Ryan pinned the medal to Shadow's collar in front of the press and Nathan's family, the crowd rose to their feet and applauded. Ryan leaned down, leaned into Shadow's ear, and whispered, "You did what no one else could. You saved a family." After receiving his Medal of Honor, Shadow did not return to being an ordinary K9 dog. He became a living symbol of the dog's irreplaceable vigilance, loyalty, and intuition. The story of Shadow's brave act is included in K9 training curricula nationwide as a prime example of trusting a working dog's instincts, even when it goes against normal training commands. Nathan, the boy who was saved, began to overcome his fear through regular visits to Shadow. Each time he saw him, he hugged Shadow tightly as if reminding himself that there was still good and safe in the world. Nathan's mother wrote a letter to the police station, expressing her endless gratitude. "If it weren't for Shadow, my son might not be here. Thank you for raising a true hero." For Ryan, that event changed the way he viewed the role of a companion. More than just a partner, Shadow was the heart of the team. And to the community, Shadow became a legend.